40,000 years ago, a human sat alone by a dying fire. No phone, no music, no one to call. Just grief, sitting in the dark. So what did they do? We assume ancient humans were too busy surviving to feel sadness, too busy hunting, too busy running, too busy staying alive. But that assumption is wrong. Archaeologists have found something that proves it. Burial sites, flowers placed on graves, tools left beside the dead, as if the person might still need them. Sadness is not a modern invention. It is older than language, older than fire, older than your house, and the way ancient humans handled it might explain why so many of us are struggling with it today. Let's go back, way back, around 100,000 years ago, in a cave in modern-day Israel. Archaeologists found a burial site called Qafzeh Cave, a child buried with deer antlers placed in their hands, not thrown in a hole, not abandoned, placed, arranged, cared for. His tells us something important. Grief existed before written history, before religion as we know it, before philosophy. Humans were already trying to process loss. But here's what's fascinating. They did not do it alone. Anthropologist Margaret Mead once pointed to something unexpected as the first sign of civilization. Not a tool, not a weapon. A healed broken femur. A leg bone that had been shattered, and then healed completely. In the wild, a broken leg means death. You cannot run. You cannot hunt. You cannot escape. But this person survived. Someone fed them. Someone protected them. Someone sat with them through the pain, long enough for the bone to heal. That is the real beginning of civilization. Not tools. Not fire. Someone choosing to stay. And when it came to sadness, the pattern was the same. Ancient humans did not grieve in isolation. They grieved in groups, around fires, in circles, together, because being alone with sadness was the actual danger. So how exactly did they do it? What did ancient grief actually look like? Turns out anthropologists have studied isolated tribal communities still living close to how humans lived for thousands of years, and the patterns they found. They are strangely specific, 3 patterns to be exact, and one of them, almost nobody does anymore. That third pattern, it's the one modern psychologists are now trying to bring back, because without it, grief doesn't heal, it just gets buried. Let's go through all 3. Pattern 1. Communal wailing. In many ancient and tribal cultures, grief was loud, not quiet tears in a bedroom. Group crying, chanting, sometimes for days. Anthropologists call this ritual lament, and it served a purpose. It told the nervous system, this pain is allowed to be big. You do not have to shrink it to be acceptable. Compare that to today, where we whisper, I'm fine, through tears. Where crying in public feels like a crisis. Pattern 2. Physical closeness. In grief, ancient communities did not give space. They removed it. People slept closer, sat closer, touched more. Touch regulates the nervous system. It lowers cortisol. It signals safety to the brain. Modern grief, by contrast, often means time alone. A few days off work, then back to normal, alone with it. Pattern 3, and this is the one almost forgotten, storytelling the loss. Ancient grievers did not just cry. They spoke, out loud, repeatedly. They told the story of the person who died, their habits, their jokes, their flaws, again and again, until the story stopped hurting to tell. Psychologists today call this narrative processing. And research consistently shows people who talk through loss out loud to others heal faster than people who process it silently in their head. But here's the problem. Modern life removed all three patterns. We don't wail together. We don't sit pressed close. And we definitely don't repeat our grief story out loud to anyone who will listen. We do the opposite of everything that used to work. We grieve fast. We grieve quiet. We grieve alone. And then we wonder why grief feels unbearable. Why it lingers for years instead of months. Why some people never fully process a loss at all. It's not because modern humans are weaker. It's because we removed the exact mechanisms that evolution built for processing pain. Here is what's strange, though. You don't need a tribe to use these patterns. You need maybe one or two people, and a willingness to do the uncomfortable thing. Let your sadness be loud, even briefly, with someone who can hold it. Let yourself sit physically close to someone when it's heaviest. Don't tell your story once and bury it. Tell it again and again, until it stops being a wound and starts being a memory. Neuroscientist Bessel Kolk has written about this extensively. The body keeps score of what the mind tries to silence. Grief that isn't spoken doesn't disappear. It just moves into the body and waits. Ancient humans somehow understood this instinctively, without therapists, without books, just by staying close to each other. They knew sadness was not something to fix quickly. It was something to be witnessed, slowly, loudly, together. And maybe that's the part we lost. Not the grief itself, but the company we used to grieve with. 40,000 years ago, a human sat by a dying fire, but they were rarely alone for long. Someone always came and sat beside them. That might be the oldest form of healing there is. If this gave you a new way to think about sadness, send it to someone who might need it today. And next time, why do people smile at you when they hate you? That one might change how you see everyone around you.